This is how I finally became happy after making millions of dollars from social media. Now guys, my name's Blake Ryan. You probably see my content on YouTube, or if it's your first time here, I obviously do kind of social media related things, whether that's all things faces. So YouTube, my original thing that made me a lot of money was Snapchat shows. You probably heard a lot of people talking about Snapchat shows, whether that's like Daniel Baton, maybe on a specific podcast. They were blowing up a few years ago, and I was very, very lucky and obviously thankful enough to get onto that, and I made quite a lot of money from it. Now, if I go to my Snapchat dashboard, I do still make a little bit of money from Snapchat. It's definitely not as crazy as it originally was, but if I go to my revenue tab, this show just started blowing up. It still makes me about $12,000 a month, so probably about 50 grand a month nowadays. Here's another one of my shows. This, by the way, still being run to this day, makes me $55,000 every single month. Here's another one of my shows. Go to the revenue tab. This one makes me on average, if it wants to go ahead and load, Snapchat is like notorious for having a really, really shitty dashboard. And this one still makes me $33,000 every single month. Now, again, you guys can see the website URL is obviously publish.snapchat.com. There's no real way to fake this. And again, I'm not showing you this video to obviously sell a course. I just want to share something that I've obviously learned being in this industry for such a long fucking time. All the dopamine spikes I've had, how my brain sort of morphed from getting into this at such a young age, because in about 2022 to 2024, from Snapchat specifically, I made about $20 million gross. Gross, by the way, that's not at all profit. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not worth $20 million. I wish. I'm probably, in terms of like net profit from Snapchat specifically, made and walked away with about 4 mil, which again is still really, really good, especially for my age. And it did open my eyes to obviously doing the entrepreneurial space and the fact that this is, again, what I want to do for the rest of my life. But I want to go ahead and just kind of show you guys what I've had to deal with from going from that massive high of Snapchat. And again, feeling as if, you know, money really wasn't real. And the fact that this world is so corrupt and messed up to where you have people that are working for $50,000 a year, not being able to put food on the table for their children. It's honestly a really messed up world we live in. And I think this video is going to serve as a sort of reference for those of you that are trying to become an entrepreneur. Now, just for a point of reference, guys, let me go ahead and show you how much one of my shows was making me back in the day. So this was again back when we started. And by the way, we had about 100 of these shows at one point. So we were doing on average like $179,000 a month on just one of our shows. You can see here, like even just some of the episodes would literally make us $36,000. And these videos were just copyrighted videos. I mean, we just grabbed compilations from YouTube and just like repurposed them directly into Snapchat. It was honestly the Wild West. And then this is where it gets insane. Just this one show by itself made me $1 million in revenue. We had a day where we literally made $66,000. And you can see here, every single day it was like $30,000, $10,000, even upwards of like $39,000 a day. This was a fucking crazy day. We had a $40,000 day here. Again, the CPM was about $10 back in the day. And, you know, we were averaging like anywhere from 1 to 6 million impressions every single day. Now, what I need to just make clear, guys, is the dopamine when Snapchat first happened was just insane. I mean, I grew up in a community where I was always pretty blessed and I was always making money online, but not to this extent. I mean, I had made, you know, I was maybe doing about 30 grand a month, to be honest with you, doing like YouTube verifications and all these little weird miscellaneous things. And again, yes, I did love it. I was in a really nice environment. I was in a really cool networking community where I'd obviously wake up, see all my friends in Discord. A lot of these friends you probably now know in the YouTube automation space and in the kind of social media space because they're all super, super big now. But again, we would just all wake up, hop in a Discord call. And I think that one of the biggest things when I was first starting out was surrounding myself with people that had a very similar ideation to me and a sort of very similar vision. So whenever one of us would find something, we'd be like, yo guys, look at this. We just found this. This is how much money it's making. And we'd all kind of hop on that and sort of share information alongside each other. And that was sort of the beginning of my social media and kind of entrepreneurial journey. And again, I used to miss this feeling, right? I would literally wake up every single day, just so excited to just wake up and check my phone. And I'll get back to this a little bit because there was a point in time where I kind of lost that feeling and I finally got it back now. But my point is that there was this time, right, where I had literally just, I would wake up, I'd check my phone and I would get so much dopamine to see a sale, to see revenue, to see like the number actually go up on the screen. Like I remember with Snapchat specifically, we had this thing where it was like every day at 2 p.m. my time, the revenue would update. And I would literally sit there religiously waiting for the revenue to update, refreshing. And it would just be the craziest feeling and just such a honestly euphoric feeling to be able to refresh that and just have this much value to life and just be this content with life. But again, guys, that dopamine soon went away. I mean, I would say even while Snapchat was like still a thing and still making me a couple $100,000 in profit a month, I still felt sort of lost, right? I ended up losing that spark to want to refresh, to want to wake up. And if you guys are all entrepreneurs and you know this, you would know what I'm talking about when I say like you wake up really excited to like check revenue, check something, you'd always be just be so excited. Sometimes, and this might be a little bit too niche for you guys to understand, but I remember like waking up and like vividly having dreams of like checking my analytics and it would be like a 1 of 10 or like a 10 of 10 and I'd be really depressed. But it was just a dream and it wasn't actually real. And then I would actually wake up and be like, oh my God, my video didn't flop. I can actually go check if it actually did well. That is probably too micro niche for any of you guys to understand, but that was sort of a massive thing for me, right? Like that dopamine, that sensation, it was just going away. And that was even why I was still making money, right? So even like right now, I still make like $50,000 to $100,000 a month of Snapchat profit, but it really doesn't even, I don't even notice it. I don't even check it. I just check the remittance every time it comes in every single month. But in terms of actually checking the platform itself, I don't give a shit about it. And that was because I had to find something. I had to find passion and I had to find building again because I was lost. Yes, I had millions of dollars at my age. I'm 21 now. When I started this channel, I believe I was like 19. So I've definitely come a long way in terms of, aging and shit, but I had to find another way to kind of get that dopamine, right? So I started building. I started realizing, okay, well, what do I actually enjoy doing? And obviously I'd always done YouTube automation. You guys know this channel if you've watched me for a while. YouTube automation has always been my sort of second thing. Yes, it does make me a little bit of money and I've always had a lot of passion for YouTube automation, but again, like the money itself just doesn't really entice me. It's more the building of products, the building of assets, and the building of sort of sustaining a platform that other people use. So that was what I did. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop open one of my channels right now. So you guys obviously know I'm really big in the ultra long form space. That means making videos that are obviously hella long and they have like $40 to $50 RPMs. This has been something on YouTube that's just really stood out to me for like 2 years now. Ever since AI has become kind of sufficient enough to be able to actually create these ultra long form videos, I've always been really invested in it and sort of always wanting to do this. So you guys know I've always run ultra long form channels in the past and I obviously reinvested a lot of the money I got from Snapchat into ultra long form, but there was always a big bottleneck, right? And that was obviously creating the videos themselves. So generating ultra long form videos, can take hours. So I was like, well, how do I build this? And it was a massive scope project at the time. I figured out, okay, well, I can build a software like Produce.so. This was obviously the software that I ended up building. And this software essentially allowed people to actually create ultra long form videos in minutes. And when I actually launched this, funnily enough, it was only making like $1,000 a day. I say $1,000 a day like it's not that much. That's a lot of money, guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't have some weird ideology. I understand that's a lot of money. But again, like it was more the feeling. And I noticed that even when I have days that I'll make $10,000 a day from Snapchat or $10,000 a day from YouTube, it doesn't scale in comparison to that dopamine I get when I would get a sale from Produce, if that sort of makes sense. And I think it kind of stemmed from the fact that I'd always lived in this world of not being in control of my money, right? Yes, I own the money, I have all the money, but you're at the discrepancy and you're at the sort of discretion of Snapchat or YouTube. If at any point they can just ban your channel, they can just suspend your Snapchat show, right? That can happen at any time. But when I built the software, I sort of had this fallacy in my head where I knew that this is mine. I built this. No one can take this away from me. And I think that had a lot of say-so in that dopamine and that longevity feeling and knowing that, okay, well, while I'm building this, I am guaranteed to have a sufficient business 10 years from now. So that's what I did. I built Produce and it went on to make $500,000 for my creators individually. So just people that are using the software to actually run channels. Like this channel here, I'm obviously going to go ahead and blow the information. This is run by a student of mine in my mentorship program. He actually runs this channel and he has like 7 channels now that are all doing numbers very similar to this. He's made $10,000 in the last 60 days alone. And again, if we go to his revenue tab and we filter to the last like 7 days, his RPM is at $50. Like I'm still in disbelief of this because it wasn't cheap to do. Like this project to actually build Produce cost me $250,000 of my own money up front to kind of build this program itself. And the fact that I've built something that people are using every single day to scale and transform their lives was honestly the biggest thing for me. And guys, I don't want to sound like I'm humble or any of this bullshit. Like, oh my God, I live to give to charity. I live to give to other people. It's not even so much that it's working. It's more so the fact that I know that I built a software that is actually generating passive income for creators and it genuinely works. I think that was more so the dopamine that I was feeling. And again, like the biggest problem was, even though I built Produce, right, it was making about $30,000 a month. So in monthly recurring revenue. And that's again, like subscription based. So if I wanted to, I could have sold Produce 30 times 12. That means we're making $360K a year. I could have sold this on a very like reasonable exit exit, I could have sold Produce for $1.6 million, but I decided not to. So what I did was, and again, because Produce was obviously so high scope and it was making so much for creators, I really only had one option. And that was, again, to close off Produce to the public and make it so only people inside of my mentorship program can actually use Produce. And that's again what I did. I went ahead and I launched BlakeRyan.co. And BlakeRyan.co was just essentially a crazy mentorship program that I launched where I work one-on-one directly with clients. And I essentially made it like everything, right? So you get access to Produce. And again, nobody else can use Produce. You get access to my CMS, which again is like a channel network on YouTube to protect you against demonetization. You get a pre-monetized channel just when you first join. And you also get a bunch of other shit like vid.gg, one of my other softwares that does your 11 Labs voices, your AI thumbnails, your video ideas, everything. And I think that was my main goal, right? I was waking up, I was so excited to get leads, and I finally got back that sort of dopamine. I realized my faults. The biggest fault in life, and this is something that I can say to all of you guys, is not having that feeling. And I'm telling you this from a standpoint of knowing people that have exited their businesses for tens of millions of dollars. Do not sell your baby. And I know it sounds like ridiculous, and I know I sound like a fucking retard right now, but guys, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If you don't wake up every day as an entrepreneur with that spark inside of you, where you're just really excited to check your phone and see sales, and those sales, when you get a little notification, it gives you so much dopamine. That is what, as us entrepreneurs and as someone who's done this for years, can tell you, that is the best feeling in the world. Chasing that feeling is so euphoric. You get so much dopamine from it. And again, I had to realize pretty early on that it doesn't come from money. It comes from how you make that money. So if you don't enjoy what you're actually building, if it doesn't feel long-term to you, if you're doing it as more of a way to actually make money rather than actually enjoying that process, it's just not going to be a long-term thing, guys. So I kind of just wanted to share this video with you boys to kind of share with you my sort of ideology on kind of making money, how I was happy at the very start, got very, very sad, and wouldn't say depressed. I'm not a depressed person, but I was, biting the barrel of that. I was just really bored. I didn't really have any sort of drive or motivation, and how I obviously got that back. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. Have a great day.